Breaking
at
news.
Cavs. All right, big win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was LeBron's return to Cleveland again, 129-99. Donovan Mitchell with 25, 9 of 21. There you go, Tyson. We just talked about him yesterday. 25 points, 9 of 21 from the, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. LeBron had 11. No Mobley, no Garland, and we'll get to the basketball part of it. But everyone this morning is talking about the emotion that was exhibited last night. It was a tribute video. By the way, this is LeBron's, I believe, 8th return since becoming a Laker. But there's some stuff
10th,
going on here.
If I'm not mistaken.
Is it how many?
10. I think yesterday I heard that his record was 6-3 in his return. So that probably would have made it 10.
Even more. So what's going on here, guys? Take me through the emotions. What am I looking at?
I think the end is near. I think this is a sign. And I mean, obviously that's something that's kind of floating in the air as he's getting closer to hanging up the sneakers. But, that's real raw emotion. Like I said, the end is near. I think he knows that in the back of his mind. And I also think this is a sign of, possibly a return. I've said this before. For some reason, my gut is telling me he ends his career in Cleveland. I think it's the cherry on top to a perfect story, a perfect career. A guy that's done it, the right way from start to finish. Probably the most pressure ever for a player coming into the league. So I think it's a perfect storybook ending for him to end his career in Cleveland. So that's what I took from it. Just to see that type of genuine raw emotion in the moment, that's what I took from it.
Yeah, it sure felt like the end of the road right there. Him being celebrated in Cleveland, his family being there, Bronny having an opportunity to play the tribute video, so many different things being said around this game. But I don't think this is it. I think LeBron James will be celebrated. I think he's gonna have his farewell tour. And I think what I saw last night, I didn't see this as the end of the road. I saw this as an olive branch to welcome him back with open arms if he would want to return for his last and final season as an NBA player. That's kind of how I took this as an olive branch to say, hey, we will welcome you back with open arms if you decided that you wanted to wear the Cleveland Cavaliers uniform one last time for one last rodeo in a farewell and riding off into the sunset. It did have a lot of aspects of, hey, listen, this is my last time being here. We're not sure, but I just feel like it's gonna be more than that. This is going to be something that we're going to see in every arena that he plays in from every single team, not just the Cleveland Cavaliers, if he was to hang it up. And so it was good to see the emotion. It was good to see him be human. Sometimes in the world where we constantly criticize LeBron James on expectations and what's expected, we also got to remember how he came into this game and what he's been able to accomplish over 23 years in the NBA. I've always said it on this show. This man has been a relevant basketball player since the age of 13, 14 years old. And at 41 years old, we're still talking about him in a relevant type of scenario. And so it was good to see him be human. At first he was trying to fight the tears. That's why he had that crazy look on his face, because he was fighting it. And, and after a while, you got to let it go. You got to let it out. So it was a great homecoming. Obviously, I'm sure they wanted the game to go a different way, but the Cleveland Cavaliers are focused on their goals and their missions as well, and they took care of business. But this was good to see from Cleveland. We've come a long way from burning jerseys and saying they hate them and tearing down, the wall murals and whatnot. So it was good to see this for him.
So everything you guys said in there, that there's a lot of that, right? Like whether or not he's going to play another season. He said, I don't know if this is my last game in Cleveland. Dave McMenamin talking about that the team is open to the idea of bringing him back in the offseason. Now, bringing him back when he's a free agent in the offseason is one thing. There's no world in which they try to maneuver getting him there before that, is there?
It wouldn't make sense to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to for the Cavaliers, and obviously, even if it is, let's say, his last season, I do still think he would want to compete at a high level and still have a chance at a championship. So, adding LeBron to an already, semi-prepared or ready team in the Cavaliers, I think, they still have a chance to compete, next season. So I think it'll be an all-season signing, which would only make sense for both sides. And yeah, I think they'll have a real chance at competing next season as well. So if that is a possibility of happening, I'm kind of excited for that. And I would like to see what that would look like on paper and see what other talent they would try to surround those guys with.
Yeah,
Also that.
this got to be something that they do in the off season. You don't do this move now. The Cleveland Cavaliers are still in the conversation of trying to compete for a title without LeBron James. If you add him to the mix, that changes the entire dynamic. That changes the entire outlook of how you're looking at the season, especially with them already having a certain expectation. Also with the Los Angeles Lakers as well. I don't think this moves the needle for either one of these teams right now. It makes sense to go into the offseason when he's an unrestricted free agent. You don't have to move any parts. This can be a move that strictly puts LeBron James in a position to go where he wants to go. Nobody else has to be affected or involved in a move like this. And it can be a clean breakup with the Lakers. It can be a clean move to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it can be also an appropriate farewell tour for him that'll be much deserved in what's expected to come. So if you do something like this right now before the trade deadline, trying to get LeBron James, I think that changes everything. So no, I think you wait, you be patient, and you allow this to happen in the offseason.
McMenamin also said LeBron does not necessarily want a farewell tour, just in the off chance that perhaps maybe his body doesn't withhold what that entails. Anybody here buying that he does not want a farewell tour?
I'm not buying the part as far as his body holding up. I mean, it's held up this long, so I think one more season throughout a farewell tour wouldn't be a far-fetched thing or something he couldn't accomplish. But as far as the farewell tour, for some reason, I feel like they'll be a little more creative than just doing a farewell tour for LeBron. I feel like it kind of became a trendy thing after Kobe, but the difference with Kobe was his was really organic. It just happened naturally, and deservingly so. And I feel like every guy after that's attempted to have a somewhat farewell tour, it just didn't go well. It wasn't received the same way Kobe's was. So I think that's something that they'll take into consideration. Obviously, this is a guy that deserves to be celebrated in his own right. So I think they come up with a really creative way of celebrating and putting LeBron in the light he deserves, but also something different than, the trendy farewell tour that, we saw from Kobe.
Yeah.
So
let me correct a piece of that. Kobe's, because I was there. It wasn't organic. Kobe came into that season as Kobe Bryant. I want to be clear. He came into that season guns blazing, trying to accomplish something, and his body didn't give him what he wanted to give him. And it turned into a farewell tour about 10 to 15 games into that season. But when in training camp, when we started, he didn't really look at it like that. And then as his body began to break apart, he had the shoulder issues. His Achilles had started to swell up on him again and have some issues there. Then it turned into a farewell tour. He kind of threw the white flag in. So as that relates to LeBron James, I think he's in a situation where he doesn't want his body to break down on him, and he can't give the fans what they want. And so my experience with Kobe was, Boogie, when we would go to cities, say if it was at Western Conference teams, we started getting the idea that if we were going there twice, he wasn't going to play in the first one. He was going to play in the second one. If we were going to the East, he was going to play in all of those games because those were one-offs. So he did whatever that he could do to play in all the Eastern Conference games, all the Western Conference games. He will play in the last games of those series. And so if I'm LeBron James and if I'm starting to feel my body kind of give in on me, I'm gonna try to play in all the Eastern Conference games that I am, unless I'm a Cleveland Cavalier. Then it's gonna switch out. But all the Western Conference teams, I'm probably gonna play in those last games. And so, I'm sure they can find something creative to do. But I understand his position. You don't want to let anybody down. You don't want to put that pressure on yourself to perform at a certain level if you feel like you can't go out there and successfully do so for your fans and your fan base that you've created, over a 23 plus year of career. So, that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents on it. I understand his position, but he has to go out and be celebrated, man. There's no way that he does this quietly and people don't give him his flowers at every single stop.
No chance.
So,
absolutely.
no chance.
No chance. Okay, so Jalen Tyson went a little viral after this one. He had some He had some comments. So let's play the comments first.
Obviously, there's a different energy in this building when the James family's here. We saw how the fans reacted to Bronny, and certainly this could be potentially LeBron's last game in this building. How would you characterize his impact on this city and the franchise? Well, you could say something too.
This is Donovan Mitchell City now. This is Donovan Mitchell City now. When he come back here, we're going to make sure that everybody root for him like they did for him. So this is his stuff. This is his city.
Yes, sir, Jalen.
Okay. Okay. Who's got a problem
fella
with that?
jumped out the box.
He overspoke, man. He overspoke.
That's all. And listen, Boogie, he volunteered that. He said, "Come here, I got something to say."
He really did.
He thought he had a mic drop moment, bro.
Aw. Donovan's face, by the way, kind of was everything.
Yeah,
as well.
young fella jumped out the box.
Overspoke.
But listen, he's learning. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
We gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He was only trying to go to bat for his current teammate. But hey, you got to read the room, young fella. You're gonna be around long enough to realize when you gotta fold him and you gotta hold him sometimes, and you gotta allow it to be what it's gonna be. Even Donovan Mitchell was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Don't put this pressure on me. Especially when they just said when he just said that the James family is in the building. The family is in the building. You gotta relax. But then again, this is somebody who was 1 year old when LeBron James came into the league. Very young guy. He grew up seeing it and experiencing it as a fan, as a kid. And so, he got a little excited. He overspoke. But I have no problem with him saying this. But that apology came very fast, didn't it? that apology came fast.
I did
that
clean it
tell
up a
me
little
everything
later.
I need to know about them comments, bud.
Yo, I mean, I thought the same thing. I laughed when I saw it, and I'm like, man, this young kid has no clue. He just kind of overspoke. He's caught up in the moment. They're excited about the win. He beat an idol of his growing up. All of those things are being taken into consideration. I didn't take this as, a kid trying to diss LeBron James. Sometimes you can support the next person, and it can be disrespectful to the other person. So
Absolutely.
That's what this situation was. Do I think it was, on purpose or maliciousness behind it? No, not at all. Just a kid over speaking, getting caught up in the moment. Adrenaline probably still running from the game, and he spoke out of his ass.
Yeah.
And
he played well. And he played well. So the juices were flowing. He played well.
He was excited.
They got LeBron up out of there. Donovan Mitchell played well. He was feeling the vibes, and he overspoke. We ain't gonna hold this one to you, bro. We ain't gonna hold
You're
you
fine,
to the fire on this
Jalen.
one.
You're fine. And technically, it's not LeBron's city right now. Like, it's okay. He's not lying. He just that's your guy.
Lying. He lied.
No, he's lying.
It's not
He's lying.
LeBron's city right now. That's disrespectful to the whole Cavs team if we're going to keep saying
It will
it's still
forever be
LeBron's.
LeBron's.
Hey, it is what it is.
Well, then why even have a
Beadle.
team there? Why don't we just dismantle the Cavs?
Hey, Beadle, Chicago is still Michael Jordan's.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And it will be
what
forever.
it is.
The league
It's
is
just
still
what it
Michael
is.
Jordan's.
LA, this is Kobe
Still
Bryant's
Kobe.
time.
Yep. That's
I
fair.
don't care
I'll give
what's
you that.
going on.
I'll give you that.
don't care
Okay. Well,
what's
then
going
no one
on.
can get offended. Fine.
There it is.
We had a big battle in the state of Texas last night. We're going to talk a little Spurs, little Rockets on the other side. We'll be back.